Sup lads, it's your boy Bandana-Boi and England versus Norway in the 2026 World Cup quarterfinals ends up in England taking the win 2-1 in additional time. In regulation, the game ended 1-1 and we went into additional time. In the first 30 minutes of the game, Norway were playing some lockdown defense and England couldn't generate any chances. They kept trying to cross, but why would you ever try to cross when Norway's shortest defender, who's their left back, is 6 feet tall, 185 centimeters, and their tallest center back is 198 centimeters, 6 foot 5. They are absolute giants, and there's no chance England was gonna score a header against them. Norway in the beginning were just feeling out how they wanted to play in the first half, in the first 30 minutes, and then in the last 10 to 15 minutes of the first half, they really picked things up. They even scored the goal. Bellingham somehow stepped on one of the Norwegian defender's foot, and somehow he got the foul. That was very confusing. And then a bit later on in the second half, Stones almost gave a goal to Holland. He almost misplaced a pass back to Pickford, and Holland was so close to getting that scoring, but thankfully Pickford was able to go out of goal, rush, and pick up the ball. In the last 10 to 15 minutes, Norway picked up the pace by 120 miles an hour because what did I see? I don't even know how they scored the first goal. It was beyond the banger. I thought it was a crossing. I'm not even sure if he meant to shoot it, but from that angle, it's literally curling away from the goal, yet it still went in. The shot was phenomenal. Pickford, I think, even thought that it was out. He didn't even look like he dived fully to get the ball, but it was at such a weird angle. Down the left hand side, Andreas Schjelderup is able to shoot it, and it's curling to the right as it goes top right in England's net. Post and in, one of the most beautiful finishes I've seen in the World Cup. And it didn't look accidental because it looked like it was really well placed. And you see this goal once in a millennia because it's just that hard to replicate. Norway continued to have some great chances down the first half, but then England out of nowhere. Gordon is such a talent. It's insane how good he is for England. But the main star for England today is Jude Bellingham. Gordon's able to dribble past one Norwegian defender and he gives a strong pass to Bellingham, and Bellingham uses his momentum in one of the best ways possible and is able to get past both Norwegian centre backs and shoot and score in the bottom right in an absolutely spectacular finish. And just before the first half commenced, Harry Kane actually scored a great chip, but he was just offside. Would have been a great goal, but might have been literally a foot or two that he was offside, and it's unfortunate. Heading into the half, both teams were tied at 1-1. I feel really bad for Norway because even in the second half, they looked like they were a bit more comfortable. England did still dominate the possession, and they were attacking more often, but with the chances that were created, Norway literally scored the goal, but it was disallowed. I'm not sure if it was disallowed because there was an offside or because Holland pushed the English defender onto the ground. Even then, it feels a little rough because when there's a corner, all the players are pushing each other. It just so happens to be that when Holland pushed the English defender to the ground, the English defender chose to root his feet to the ground and he fell on his back. I don't know why the goal was disallowed, and I feel really bad for Norway. However, I don't think it was that controversial because it might have been an offside, and I am not sure. Norway just minutes later hit the crossbar of a header. Christopher Ayer, he did great. Unfortunately, it was a header and then it went out. And then a couple minutes after that, Jet Spence does great to press Nyland, the goalkeeper for Norway, and he doesn't score, but he does deflect it, and it did go back to a goal kick, but great pressing by Jet Spence. And then we go into additional time, and 3 minutes in, I don't know why this World Cup has had so many of these goals, and this is part of football, getting the rebound, but it was just that again. Morgan Rogers shoots a long shot from outside the box. Nyland tries to catch it. It rebounds off his chest. And who's there to convert it? Jude Bellingham scores his second goal for England. And he puts them 2-1 up in additional time. And it almost felt like the game was over. Norway tried to attack many times after that, but sadly to no avail. They weren't able to get going. And even though they did have a couple chances, Pickford saved them, or they weren't clinical enough to go in the back of the net. Just Spence even had a penalty shout, but he did draw too much contact on that. It was almost like he was tackling the Norwegian defender just so he can get the penalty, which isn't how you play the game. To get a penalty, you try to draw contact, but you don't literally put your entire body on his leg and then dive. I don't know how to explain it, but it clearly wasn't a penalty. And I'm happy that the ref went back to VAR and he got that shout right. With that being said, lads, congratulations to England. They have now advanced to the semi finals for the second time in the last three tournaments. And will they be able to upset Argentina? If the refereeing is good, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised. England are a great side, they're pretty well balanced, and I would love to see them in the World Cup final. It would be interesting to see if the World Cup final this time is going to be between Argentina and France yet again, or will it be a new champion this time in England or Spain? England is the only team this century to not win the World Cup yet. France won it in 2018, Spain won it in 2010, and Argentina won it in 2022. So if England doesn't win against Argentina, we are going to have the first repeat champions of this century. The quarterfinals are done, and we are now onto the semi-finals, the final, and the third place match. I'm really excited to see what's to come. And Jude Bellingham now has 6 goals, as much as Kane, and he's only 2 goals behind Messi and Mbappe. Haaland does have 7 goals, but unfortunately, he just got knocked out of the World Cup, so that tally won't be going up. With that being said, tell me what y'all thought about the game, lads. I thought it was a pretty entertaining game, and England were able to win in the end. The refereeing was great, and Jude Bellingham is truly a spectacular talent. Anyway, lads, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And that's all from me, boy, lads. Choose